Good morning, all. Testing. Quick grab. Tree falls down. There you go. That's the grab. Hope you're all well. I've just got back from the gym. I thought I'd go live because do you know what? I actually thought I was supposed to go live now. I planned all my day around it, and I looked, and I don't know why it's scheduled for Tuesday. I will be going live on Tuesday as well. Hello, sir. Hello, Adam. Hope you're well. Is my mic on all right, sir? Can you hear me? I believe it is. We've been having a little bit of trouble on the old StreamYard recently. But the good news is, I think our handles are back on properly. Oh, good. Perfect. I'm going to turn it around a little bit then like that then. There we go. Adam, you've worked out, haven't you? I think you're 9:30 our time and it's now nearly 11:30. So 2 hours ago. Hello, Jodie. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you're keeping well. Yeah. Hope the family's all good. Do you know what's hard for, British people, really? What's the word? I don't want it to sound too harsh because bragging. Hello, CrossFit Louise. Hope you're doing well. Daughter. So bragging doesn't come naturally, and I think it's probably a cultural thing. I was trying to explain to one of my dear friends about the difference, I think, in American and British politics. We have a long history of class divide, very long, part of our DNA as a culture. And Europe has in general, because of the feudal system, based on monarchical reign through the church. That's obviously how it all began. And so you've got this upper tier, right, of wealth and land ownership and that kind of thing. And then below them, so that you'd call that the upper class. Below them, you've got this new emerged middle class over the last 300 years, since the Industrial Revolution, really. Because as we all know, the Industrial Revolution happened in England and Britain and then went abroad. That's what gave us the rise of our empire. And I'm going to bore you with a bit of history now, but never mind. I'm getting to a point here. You'll notice this pile of shit. I'll come on to that in a minute. Maybe I can cover it. Sorry, detour. And the lower class has always been lower class. And so therefore, in our DNA, we have this lower class, middle class, upper class system. And now you can go from lower to middle. What you can't do is go from middle to upper. That doesn't happen, really. And because of that, there is a sense of dissonance between the ruling classes and us. And with politics, the ruling classes are the ones in politics. 99% of them have come from very, very wealthy places. Now, I'm getting to a point here. All right, my phone's not on disturb. With our political system, we have two major parties. We have Labour and we have Conservatives. Conservatives are the Conservatives. So they're the equivalent of probably the closest to Republican than Democrats. So they want old school. They want to conserve. They're the richer people. Then you've got Labour, who represent the working class, the labourers, the very working class. You've got a few political parties in the middle, but not many, and they don't really have much of an impact. Now and again, they might have, one district where they get into power, but generally speaking, not really. Lib Dems come in now and again. You've had the rise of parties over the last 150 years. Anyone that's watched Peaky Blinders would know this. The Shelbows. in series 5 and 6. One public school is represented heavily. Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack with British politics, and I won't bore everyone in here because you won't want to know about it. My old affiliate, so my first affiliate that I owned, was in a little town called Eton, and Eton is a 3-minute walk from Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle is where the King and Queen of England live. In Eton is the most established, well, it started in 1480, I think it is. So the year 1480 is when the college was established, and it was set up for the Earls of Windsor and the region for the king to have their kids being educated. It's still going to this day, and it is the most elite boys' school on earth. It's roughly £80,000 per term, so it's about £240,000 per year, and that's just to be able to go there. Then you've got all the costs and expenses to go. Now, boys come from around the globe to be there. Now, my CrossFit gym was about half a mile away from Eton College. What I won't have is anyone saying they weren't very mature, very polite, very educated in terms of socially educated. They were very aware, very pronounced, very respectful boys. So were the staff. They are the elite of the elite. But one thing they lack is the understanding of what the other 99% of people live by, how life really is, truly is for most people. One example of that, and I've used this a couple of times to explain the difference. I would coach the lads really polite, like I said, in the gym, bit of strength work. The rowing team, one of the rowing teams used to come down. We used to do some basic power work. And one of the lads got talking. There's about 8 or 9 of them in the group. And we were talking about a school trip they were going on. And it was a sports trip. So in England, I went to state school, obviously. And my sports trip, I might travel an hour by coach or bus on a Thursday afternoon, compete in football or rugby or cricket or hockey or whatever sport we're playing, athletics, track and field, down the road for an hour and come back. And that would be a big deal. That would be like a big trip for me, right? Now I'm talking to these lads. They say, go on sports trip. I was like, oh, right, okay, whereabouts you going? Little did I know, the answer was they're going to Mongolia on a polo trip. And that right there is a very clear-cut example of the difference between real life for 99% of people, 0.999, and 0.1% of people. Now, it's not to say that's not real life for them. Hello, Cloonies. But for the overwhelming majority of people, it's just not reality. It's not even something you can aspire to, because it's just not doable. There is a big class divide. You cannot get there. Now, America, yeehaw. You guys have recently established your country, and you've got all the benefit of learning from all the shit from everywhere else. And you've established this new way of life where anyone can get anywhere, probably. I think that's still being tested, but I think it's being proven day to day. Your political parties, I don't see a difference in class. Think about a Republican. For before the last 5 years, where I've been educating all of this through Savon and the Seven Easters and the media, especially with Trump, I think Trump coming into play actually brought American politics to the front, to the fore. No one gave a shit before then, really. My idea of a Republican was what you would call a hillbilly, more kids than teeth, shooting shotguns at cans in a wife beater vest with a cap on and doing up trucks. That was what I thought a Republican was. Obviously, I'm wrong. But I'm right, because those guys do usually support the Republican Party. I didn't know that there wasn't this class divide within the parties. We are so used to having the class divide in terms of policies. When we look at American politics, it's very, very hard for us to understand that both parties have very wealthy, rich people in them and working class and very poor people in them. So it's funny this week we've come to a point, and the reason I say about this, a couple of reasons why, multifaceted really. Really annoying me, this mess. I don't like mess. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do, because it's messy, isn't it? There we go. I've had a few people from America ask me and keep asking about the immigrant crisis and the boats and the Milan and the Keir Starmer and blah, 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 blah. My answer is this. Very little has happened or changed in the last 2 years to the people that live in the reality. 99%. Nothing has changed. It's just been compounded. We've known about the issues that are being talked about now in the media for a solid 20 years. Nothing's changed whatsoever. It's been compounded. Now, if you flash back to probably about a year ago when Musk was on Trump's team, his election team and all that kind of stuff, he brought to the forefront about the British politics and all this kind of stuff and the rape gangs and all that kind of shit, which is fucking awful, right? Obviously, that doesn't need to be said. But it's not new. It's not new, but it should be news. We've known about it for a long time. And a lot of those cases have been put to bed and the guys have been locked up. However, it does need to be addressed. Now, the sensationalism, the media coverage, the hype, the Instagram posts, the chanting, the videos, all the drama around it. One, it doesn't help. But two, it's old news, but it should be news. But we have a very, very different way of life, of politics, and of media in our country as America. So my feedback to people that have been asking is, yes, it's a slight concern. It always has been. Two, it's not quite as bad as the media are making out. But three, it does need addressing. It does need action. And politically, I don't really talk too much politically because one, I honestly don't have any action that I can take other than a vote. Okay, that's all. The only way that I can affect politics is the way that I live, really. And the way that I go about my day and the people around me and how I affect them. That's the best impact you can have. And the best impact, the best way that I can do that is with my craft, my trade, and my fatherhood. So I can raise my little humans the best I can and I can coach and listen and learn and develop as a coach and change people's lives that way. And that's my role. What my role isn't is to try and change people's minds. I'm not here to try to justify myself or to change the way people think. I'm here to demonstrate how I think life should be lived and set an example. And I believe that's what we should be doing, setting an example rather than hyping up with no action. Sensationalism isn't action. It's not. We think it is, but it isn't. It's not action. That's my answer to people. But so here's the shift over. Here's the tangent. So I competed yesterday in powerlifting, and I coached at the same time. So there was 10 men, so 10 males in our bracket throughout the day. So for those of you that don't know, powerlifting, the sport, is back squat, bench press, deadlift. You get 3 attempts at each as a round robin, and you wait your turn and you go again, and you get three attempts. People use the competitions for different reasons. So to test themselves, to qualify, to compete, all sorts of reasons. I would strongly encourage every single damn CrossFitter to do a powerlifting meet at some point. It's a very, very, very unique and different way of testing your power and your overall strength in a very controlled, safe, disciplined, command-driven environment. And it puts you under a lot of pressure to compete. Very different from weightlifting. If anyone's done weightlifting, very different from that. And of course, very different from CrossFit and High Rocks and all the events where you got insanely loud music, pumping systems. You're anonymous. You're in lanes. Powerlifting, there is one of you on the stage. There is an entire crowd watching. There's a room full of, including the judges, the refs, the spotters, the loaders. It's probably about close to 100 people at a small competition watching with no music, you lifting an extreme load. That is how you test yourself with maximal strength. However, the purpose of my lifting yesterday, I'm not going to concentrate on me because it's gross talking about myself, was to hit numbers that would qualify me for the English champs, which I did. That was the purpose of mine. So I've had a few people say those lifts look easy. Yeah, they were enough to get by. Now, my main focus yesterday was that, but also to coach a young fella that I've been coaching for a couple of years now. And his mum came to watch as well. And we were so damn proud of him. It didn't go exactly according to plan. But I was reminded of the value of sport. I was reminded of the value of competition in young people. And he went through a very, very challenging time during the meet. He came out the other side and he's ecstatic for himself. And he's so damn proud of himself. And he walked away. His mum walked away with her head held high. And what an incredible journey he went on during that 6 hours, ups and downs at maximal load as a 16-year-old lifter. What a lad! And I was really, really proud of him. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about the powerlifting meet. Enough about the singlets as well. I had a couple of people ask me about the singlets. They're not flattering at all. So yeah, that went well. But again, I've got High Rocks in 6 weeks or less than 6 weeks. So I was at the gym this morning coaching and competing, not competing, fucking training High Rocks. High Rocks session for that, bit of running, bit of doodahs. which was lovely. And do you know what? I loved being able to do everything. Love being able to do everything. Yeah, Don. Um, so here's the thing. I don't obviously if you yeah, you look like stuff exactly. Um, the good thing is that everyone feels the same and everyone looks the same, right? So you're not alone. Um, but in all honesty, once it's on, you don't really care. You're not really thinking about it. And there's all sorts of body shapes. Like I cut down a lot to get into the 93 kilo category, a lot. Um, I'm sitting today at about 15% body weight at 91 kilo. Um, that was tough going, but it's a stepping stone towards the high rocks. But you've got lads in the super heavyweight division that, like you said, you know, they don't look lean like we're used to with CrossFitters at the sport. But I really feel, and we talked about this a little while ago, I really feel like all levels of competition should be celebrated to a degree. All achievement, everyone, not a participation medal, right? I don't believe in all that. But having the fucking balls, right? I'm not talking about me, I'm too old to care about all that. Having the balls to step up on stage in front of those people in a fucking sausage suit and lift maximal loads. It takes a lot of guts to do that. A lot. To put everything aside and to go for fucking very, very heavy lifts is pretty cool. And it's a really good demonstration of one of the elements of CrossFit. And what I'm worried about is that people slip into the high rocks route as the only way to test their fitness with CrossFit. They're sort of going, we don't need to do CrossFit events anymore. We can do a high rocks instead. That's why I wanted to do the powerlifting meet and the high rocks within 6 weeks of each other. I want to do both extremes of the spectrum, and be able to keep up. You know, be able to do a bit of everything. That's what CrossFit's about. I'm fucking 40, and I'm competing. The oldest lad there with me yesterday was 28. I was 12 years older than the next oldest, right? At the high rocks, there's going to be a load of people. I know I'm not going to finish last there. Why? Because I fucking do CrossFit. Why do I know that I can lift heavy yesterday? Because I do CrossFit. I have done no specific training for that powerlifting meet other than regular CrossFit programming with a little bit extras now and again on bench because I just love it. We have this idea on our head that when you compete, you have to win. That's not the case. You're testing yourself, and these sports and these options for us to go and compete and put our test our fitness, they are right there, and they're so manageable and cheap, and they're right on your doorstep. And I think we need to just be held accountable a little bit to these, learn and play new sports. I think everyone should have that as a goal at some point. It doesn't have to be a CrossFit event, ideally a CrossFit event, but latch onto something, train, be accountable to a test, and not that cop out, not the cop out of life is a test, or I can't compete, I've got kids, I can't compete, I've got a sore knee, I can't compete, I'm going on holiday, blah, blah, blah. Rubbish. There's so many options to compete in some aspect, form or another, even if it's a fucking throwdown at your gym. You hear it all the time. Oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I don't want to, or I don't fancy it, or I can't find anyone to pair up with me. If you truly wanted it, you would do it. There's absolutely no reason. And this is the one thing that I've definitely seen less of in the last sort of 5 years since the pandy, is the less and less people want to put themselves neck on the line a little bit and compete. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a very competitive person. I tell Sean this all the time, although Sean hates me at the moment anyway, being a bit of a pussy. I'm not competitive with other people. And that's genuine. That's really genuine. My wife is, I'm not. But I fucking love competition. I've had a few years of none of it. And now I'm hooked again. And I want to do everything. And I think everyone should do that. Everyone should challenge themselves. Get out. We talk about CrossFit. Yeah, we're hard. We break out of our comfort zones and we enjoy being uncomfortable. And yeah, we do this and the other, and we do everything other people won't. And fuck the system. And we've got the cure. But where's the accountability? Where's the testing? Get uncomfortable. Get truly uncomfortable. Go and compete in something. It'll do you good. It'll give you focus. It definitely did for me. So there's my take on that. Now, those of you that have seen powerlifting, all right, gay. Those of you that have done powerlifting or coached it or seen it or whatever, you'll see a lot of smelling salts, even sometimes shots of Jack Daniels out the back, bit of Dutch courage, headphones, really loud fucking music, getting people hyped up. I've learned that doesn't work for me. My nervous system doesn't respond very well to that in competition. In the gym, fine, I'll have the speakers up. At a competition, I need to be calm going into it. That's exactly right. I need to be calm going to lift. So all the young lads there had the headphones on in the holding area out the back. They're all headphones. They're all, as they're getting on, they're banging their legs and sniffing salts, smelling salts. And listen, I can hear the headphones, like all fucking 9 other headphones are going and I can hear it all. No headphones for me. Stood there, just enjoying being there. And they're all shouting and they're doing their routines, back slaps, all the malarkey of it all, which is fine. It's the circus. It's the parade. It's the shenanigans. It's the hype. It's the razor, you know? And for me, yeah, for me, and Jon, I don't know if this is because of our age that I get it, right? I truly get why you do that. I get it from a scientific perspective, the biological, why you do it, right? But for me yesterday, I'd calmly walk up, I'd wait with the handler. So you have a platform handler that says, bars loaded, and then she lets you on, or they let you on to the stage platform. At that point, when they're loading up my bar for me, I'm stood there. The thing that calmed me and got me in a really good place to lift was just thinking about my kids. And it sounds really, really gay, but that's what did it for me. And I didn't intend to do that. I was stood there for my first squat and it just happened. And I was stood there and my kids came in and I smiled and I walked on, clipped my belt, got under the bar, fine. And for me, that worked. And for all 9 lifts, it happened again. And I was calm going into my lifts and it was a matter of fact. And I don't know if that composure if that's composure or if it was a comforting thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's me trying to comfort myself because I'm nervous or whether it's to compose myself. Tricky one. Yeah, sorry, Jody. Cool story, bro. Yeah, a bit gay in it. But no, the feedback from the people on the floor was you should have gone heavier. But I know I could have gone heavier. The plan all along, because you're now bad because I wore a singlet. I've been saying to Yon for fucking months, I know what I'm going to hit. I'm getting 535. I'm getting a 190, a 130, and a 215. Done. That's what my plan was. That's what I executed at a body weight that I hit in a 3-week drop. It was to get a QT, qualifying total. And I did it. A plan executed. I saw loads of guys bombing out. I saw loads of guys, which means not getting one of your squats or one of your benches. Exactly. Overreaching for what purpose, right? So maybe that's another reason why I wasn't stressing out, because I knew that I could hit the numbers pretty comfortably. But there we go. But yeah, all good. But I loved it, and you know, upon reflection, I would do another one, but we'll see. We'll see about that. My main concern today is I got a second screen, right? I've got this other screen right here, and I'm trying to get it set up. And I ordered a part to connect my Mac to that, and it fucking doesn't work still. Really annoying me. I've ChatGPT'd it, and it can't help me apparently. Anyway, I'll fucking have to do it. I really want 2 screens. I want to be Billy Big Bollocks, you know, they're 2 screens. Like, yeah, sure, yeah, listen to me. Bye, sell. But yeah, I've got a client that could win in November with their current numbers. Again, last week comps I've looked at. She said, yeah, again. So Jon will know more than anyone. Part of the battle I had yesterday with young man that I coached is this. He was the lightest lifter there by a margin, and he's a 16-year-old lad. And being around that environment, he wanted to go heavier, and I had to rein him in. And because I'm his handler, I'm his coach. He's a sub junior. I get to decide what he lifts next. So I did. And we had a bit of not a disagreement, but we had a bit of, you know, a difference of opinion. But ultimately, my opinion wins. But it worked out in the end. That was good. The thing is, I think, and Jon is absolutely right. People have this idea. Okay, we've got the paper book that we give it. People have this idea that a competition where you should hit PBs and you're hitting your maximal load ever. And it just simply isn't true. It simply isn't true. You go there for a job, a purpose, and you execute and you get it done. I didn't want to see a red light yesterday, and I didn't. I got 3 whites on all 9 lifts. And for me, that was the win. When the weights wanted to lift. But again, probably could have gone heavier, probably pussied out a bit. Kate, the handler on the day that was walking around her, making sure, Kate Divers, shout out to Kate. She's amazing. Like, what an angel she is. She's settling the younger lads. She was helping me out. She was doing all sorts, running around all day. You need people like that. And that's what you get in sport, the volunteers and the community-based, and the culture. I love to see it. You know, it's nice. But what a day. But drawing it back to CrossFit, let's see if there's any parallels here, right? So we've talked about the 0.1% of people thinking that they live the reality and reflect the nature of the other 99.99%, and the other 99.99% of people thinking that they can meet or obtain what that 0.1% of people can. There's a big old reflection there, boy. In Britain, especially, we talked about politics, and I'm working on this as I speak. It's a brainstorming session, guys. Work with me. With British politics, we've got that upper elite that we are programmed, and we know that we will never get there, no matter how hard we try. And then there's everyone else. Americans are told they can do anything, even though they know that they can't. But they're told they can. Now, when I see a games athlete, I'm told and I know that's not on the cards for me. I'm not getting there. And therefore, I distance myself from it. I think that's not for me. Leave it to them. I'd rather focus on people like me. And I can't see the games athletes being like me because they're not. The one thing we have in common is that CrossFit. And the only thing that you could compare, they are light years ahead. So I don't even bother. Now, American politics says you can do whatever you want. You are able, you are available. Culturally, you then view sport very differently. You think you're one of them, whereas we think them versus us a lot of the time. And that's very much a very common global thing, not just England and Britain. Very, very global. So I think maybe there might be a difference there in spectatorship and how we view CrossFit, maybe. I don't know. During the session this morning on the run, when people are like doing something and you make an excuse in your head and you're like, it's only because of this, right? So we were running and the runners stormed ahead of me, like just whipping past me and going ahead. And in my head, I thought to myself, in the world of fitness, running is like masturbation. It's the hand job of exercise. Like you can get really bloody good at it, right? Really good at it. But the only person impressed is you. And it's of no benefit, right? It's only good for its own purpose. And then as the workout went on, I caught up and then I overtook the runners because they're shit inside with the strength stuff and the bike and the ergs. So I started to overtake them. And at that point, I realized I'd changed my mind on running and that it's an essential part. And so is masturbation. It's still an essential part. So it still sort of works. you know, when you get these ideas in your fucking head when you're exercising, it's just one of those. Yeah. What a dickhead, eh? I always feel let down after. Yeah, exactly. You know, you let yourself down. You feel bad afterwards, don't you? I'll tell you what it is, right? I'll tell you what it is. I've never felt cocky or arrogant or pleased or made up or full of testosterone when I've done a good run. And I see people that are really good at running and afterwards they're walking around all puffy chested. And I think, fuck you. You've just done a little run. Like, let's come and have a bench press, yeah? It's I know this is all me. I know this is all in my head, but it's the arrogance of people after they've run or when they're running. I see them and they're running like this and they think they're really cool and it's like, fuck off. But I know it's valid. Here's the difference, right? Here's the big difference. I respect it immensely, but I'm not jealous. Yeah. I'm full of respect for quick and amazing runners, but I'm not jealous. Whereas if I see a male gymnast do the rings at the Olympics, I am so damn jealous. I'm amazed. I'm in admiration. I am ecstatic for them. I'm proud for them. I think they're incredible humans. but I am jealous, even though they've worked their ass off for it, obviously. But I wish I could do it. Now, when I see a runner do 5K in like 13 minutes or a marathon runner do it in 2.5 minutes, there isn't a single part of me that wishes I could do that. I don't see it, the value in it, but I respect the hell out of it. And I will train people to be able to do it if they need to. But I just personally don't see it. Anyway, moving on. I do not understand Instagram. Maybe. Should we do a 100-miler together, Jan? I won't run it. I'll walk it and run. Maybe we could do like a walk a mile, run a mile. Or walk 2 miles, run a mile. Walk 2 miles, run a mile. I'll do that with you. We could do that if you want. I want to do anything. I won't win anything, but I want to be able to do anything. I don't understand Instagram. I really don't. I'm lost on it. I'm so confused. You put a video of an interview with Greg Glassman and you get 5,000 views. You put a graph up and you get, hang on, hold the phone. Oh, Jon, Danny Boy's put another video up. That'll only mean something to Jon. You put a graph up and you get 32,000 views and close to 400 likes, 73 saves, 17 retweet things, whatever they're called. I have got no idea how Instagram works. Right? No idea. However, all I will say, in December last year, in December last year, Savon was having a word with me about all this sort of stuff. Not about doing a show or anything. He was talking to me about media in a chat. And he said people need time to understand where their place is and what their value is. But he said you cannot predict what people want to see. And that didn't mean anything to me. Like, and Grant said this so many times. He fucking said it the other day on some convoluted long message that I didn't understand. So I just skimmed it. And then Jon and I spoke to Stephen Rayner, who's a very big TikToker in the scene, who's a Scottish fitness guy as well. He's a CrossFitter, I think. He owns a gym, I think. Yeah, he's a CrossFit affiliate owner. And he said he can put out a post and it'll take ages on it and it'll be an amazing one. He thinks he's going to go well. And then it doesn't do very well. And then he'll make a quick one that he doesn't have a clue about and it'll get like millions of fucking things. And the perfectionist in me likes to know what works and what doesn't. I just want to know, because then I don't want to do the stuff that doesn't work if it's going to be a big waste of time. And Jon and I have been going for what? Well, I started this show in March. I think we started in early February. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months Jon and I have been going. And we've spoken to some amazing people. We had fucking Facundo on 2 weeks ago. We've got Chase on next week. And we've got our Rogue media credentials approved. So we're going to Rogue in November and we're broadcasting from there. 7 months. we've got a long way to go, but we're getting there. And I think, yeah, we're going twice. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. It'll be awesome though. 2nd of February was the first show. Yeah. So 7 months. The media is a funny thing, isn't it? The CrossFit media, whatever that fucking means. Do you know what I've loved though? I've absolutely loved the official CrossFit podcast going live on YouTube. Oh, it's been amazing. It's an incredible addition. It was what was needed. They've boosted it. It's so cool. It's exactly what we needed. And it's great. It's great topics, great discussions. It's open forum. It's great to see, great to hear people that have actually got a fucking clue talking about it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, my live coverage of the TT. Yeah. A few months away now. But there's so much to do. There's so much to cover. There's so many opinions. There's so many different places. And I think someone was saying the other day, I can't remember who it was, but is it saturation? Is there too many voices? The beautiful thing about it is if there are, they won't get listened to. People listen to what they want to listen to. So if you don't listen to it, cool. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And then last night, the Mazer and Kate were on with the girls on Glinton, and they were talking about what are they talking about? WFP to start with. Now, my opinion on WFP, right? I know everyone wants to hear this. I don't have anything against it. I don't think anyone really does. It's a cool concept. I think it's nice. It would be a great addition to the ecosystem that we have. We want to see people working out. I say we, CrossFitters like to see other people working out. But guess what? I haven't watched any of it because I've got no interest in it. I've got the games is the games, right? CrossFit Games is the CrossFit Games. It's like the Olympics. I will watch the weirdest, strangest shit at the Olympics. BMXing, watch it there, fine. I don't really watch BMX in all the other 4 years. Shooting, gymnastics, like there's certain sports you'll watch at the Olympics. The other one you watch. The reason you watch it is because it's the Olympics. The CrossFit Games, people watch it because it is the CrossFit fucking Games, right? WFP for me is like a small series of events like the Dubai Throwdown or the German Throwdown or whatever, like these smaller events that are part of our ecosystem. Now, I don't watch them, but it's cool that we have them and it's cool that people can watch them if they want. I don't see the issue. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And it's not impacted. Like if it impacts the athletes and they choose to go that path, then they choose to go that path. It's not on us. And I know I know the feedback about it all, and I know that like the French Throwdown that I went to, a load of the athletes didn't go there from Europe because they were competing in WFP, and that was annoying. But then I went to the French Throwdown anyway, and I got to see all the crowds and the staff, and I met Daniel, I met Greg, I met all the people that I met, and it was such a cool environment. And I'm so glad I went. But the beauty of what we have is that we've got so many different avenues, so many different perspectives, so many different emphases, different parts to our whole system. We need all those voices. We need different opinions. We need it all. We were crying out for more fucking media 2 years ago. We were saying, why aren't there more people? Now we got them all. Now people are moaning about there being too many. The only little caveat to that from me personally, right, is one, you've got to know what you're talking about. You've got to know what direction you want to have. Because if you don't, you're going to be a jellyfish floating around and you're just not doing much. It's just a waste of time from the media perspective. But two, you've got to have some sort of value to add. You've got to have something to give. You look across the board, right? So look at this channel, for example. I'll start with me because I'm on screen. I've been in CrossFit since 2011. I've been a 2 times affiliate owner. I've done the Open for this will be my 14th Open coming up. I coach CrossFit. I'm at 21,000 hours and I'm working for my level 3. I've got a very, very good perspective or knowledge base on CrossFit. So I think I've got a stance on what's going on, right? From a gym floor coaching methodology perspective. Ask me about the sport. I don't really know much about it. It's not part of my bandwidth. I'll watch it. I'll listen to about it, and it's all right, but it just doesn't tickle my doodahs, genuinely. So that's my position. Look at Savon, very, very, very early adopter of the media space. He was the media space. He ran the fucking media space. He was Mr. Media. He knows what he's doing. He's an incredible interviewer. He set the standard. Still to this day, does an incredible addition, supplier of, creator of, inventor of CrossFit media. You've got Jenny. Jenny's a long time. I think she's been doing CrossFit since 2010, 2011. CrossFit member. She was a coach at some point and she didn't carry on, continue doing it. She's got a very good perspective. She's on the gym floor. She's part of it. She really enjoys the culture and the sport and the entertainment side of stuff. And that's what she fucking does. And she crushes that. You got the Scribble, Shut Up and Scribble, Taylor and JR. They speak for themselves. Obviously, very, very highly trained athletes, very good programmers. JR is obviously a gym owner. They're both coaches on the floor, level 3. They've got a hell of a lot of perspective. I won't name everyone, but Matt, again, Souza, incredibly highly knowledgeable guy, moving into different forays, puts out incredible content, got Savon back into podcasting, right? So I'm not going to go through and list everyone, but there's a hell of a lot of value there to add. Hello, Governor. Congrats on the depth night here. Thanks, Falush. Congrats on the depth. Yeah. Cool. I've never heard that as a compliment before. Congrats on the depth. Thanks very much. So my caveat to the media is you've got to have value of your own. And so far, so good. But again, the people without the value, if they want to give it a go, they can. But you're not really going to last too long because I'd like to think people see through it. And that's in all walks of life. And the beautiful other thing, I was talking to Brad's a very knowledgeable guy. I don't want to list everyone, but Brad's a good dude. There's a lot of input there. Obviously works a lot with the guys as well. So, and obviously Bryson, and then you've got the girls with Glinton. Obviously, I could list on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, we've all got. My point is, we've all got a part to play. We've all got our own value sets. And so outside the box with me and Jon, the whole fucking purpose of that was in the name. Outside of the box, outside of CrossFit. What can we bring from the outside in? Into CrossFit? Where can we get value and bring it back into CrossFit? That was the whole point in the show, and that's what it will continue to do. Now, head to head is like by far our biggest thing that we do on the show so far. And I really do think it's got legs. I think if we just, but what I don't want it to do is to get too Billy Big Bollocks and we have like fucking games athletes. The whole point in that head to head is that it's not games athletes. Yeah, exactly. Where was that show born out of? It was Grant talking utter shit to Jeremy. Jody, that was me like until fucking February. I was that dickhead English guy in the chat that just said sausages and would make sexual references all the time. That was me. We all have our value, Jodie. We all have a value. But head to head, the whole purpose of it is that it's not elite CrossFit. It's not the sport. Yeah. It's not the sport of CrossFit. It's just that essence of throwdown, of culture, of enjoyment, the fact of unprofessionalism. Like me and Jon, the only thing we're professional at is coaching, because that's our profession. Everything else is just fun. Everything else. So the head-to-head thing, it's basically me and Jon having a laugh, just getting people on that we want, and it's just a fun hour. That's all it is, and we never want it to break away from that. That if we get a fucking 10,000 people watching that, we'll still do the same thing. It won't ever change because we enjoy it too much. And we don't need to change because it's free media. We're not told what to do by anyone, so we can do what we want. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the list is fucking, long as my arm. But yeah, I love the what I really like, right, is the fact that me and Jon are obviously in the British Isles, and you got Pedro, obviously a stone's throw away from me. You got Jason down in Bath, in the south of England. Craig Ritchie obviously doesn't need explaining. Introducing. Very, very probably the biggest name in CrossFit media in terms of subscribers and everything. Yeah, Jason's wearing his suit. Yeah, that's a new thing. Then you got Sporty Beth, who is a big name, whether people like it or not. She does have value. I believe, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have as many people following her or listening. She clearly has value to people. So, but yeah, so my point being, British Isles, we've got a hell of a lot of people in the media space over here that talk about this kind of thing that we do, right? And what I love is logging onto YouTube or Tube, sorry. Anytime after 3 o'clock here. So Savon's show is 3 p.m. our time. CJ goes on about an hour before, or an hour and a half before. So it all starts with CJ in the morning for us. Then Savon. And then Scott goes live. And then Chase and Bill go live. And then Garrett and Colleen. And then inside the box office. It's like this whole thing. So our whole afternoon, we've got this schedule in the afternoon. We have got, at any point, you can go live for us after we've got our morning done. And you're away. You've got anything you want. And it's just different people, different opinions, different takes on stuff. But what I do like is the fact there's this online community. Like half of you lot will be, yeah, Khalil, Lauren's fucking hilarious when she goes live. That's usually about 11 o'clock our time, innit? In the evening. But guess what? You can choose what to listen to. You don't have to listen to it all. Pick and choose. Like people clearly do with my show. I am going to get some guests on. Which is going to be fun. I got a few people coming on soon. But yeah, all good. So what have we got coming up this week? Let me have a looky for you. Shall I? Have a look at who Savon's got lined up this week. So we've got, we've got today, this evening for us. So what's the time now? So we've got in 9 hours time, blimey. We got Glinton, Things and Dempsey this evening. We've got that today. And then we've got Kill Taylor. Oh, Kill Taylor's on today as well. So you've got Kill Taylor on this afternoon in 4 hours. Then you've got Glint. Oh, it's a busy day on the channel, isn't it? I'll be going live on Tuesday as well, a girl again. And Colleen's got loads of people. Now, Jon and I have got the mighty Chase on Thursday. We're going to be talking about coaching kids, which a lot of this. Hello, Jason Bourne. My God. Okay. Bye, Jon. Thanks for joining. So there we go. Oh, blimey. Yeah, it's all good. Possibly Paige Samenza. We're trying to get her on the show next week. Tops. Katie didn't happen yesterday. Yeah, it's on today, I think. They've rescheduled it. Yeah, all good. So I've got a question that I want to ask you, right? So this will be the last package I ever send your ass. I want to talk to you. Is it this one? No. So, all right, I won't bother bringing it up. The sickness, wellness, fitness continuum, right? Where are we? Might have it here. There we go. Right. Let me just see if I can bring it up. Share screen. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really annoying. It won't let me bring up stuff directly. Image file. Hold the phone, please. Downloads. What was this called? This one. Open. There we go. Right. So, sickness, wellness. I know I keep banging on this drum, and it's really fucking important at the moment for me. I mean, I don't care if you don't like it or not. For anyone that hasn't done their level 1, we talk about a few ways of testing and acknowledging fitness. One of those is the hopper model. So you've got one of those hoppers, when you do this and you pick a ball out, and the hopper model. As a CrossFitter, we want to test our fitness. Anything that comes out of that hopper, we need to be able to do to a good degree. So it's the hopper model. Anything life throws at you, we go through that. Monza's on today. Yeah, when does that start, Vidish? That'll be very soon, I would have thought. Is it raining there? Raining there. So hopper model. The other way one of the other ways is this, right? So sickness, wellness, fitness. And I know we've all gone through this before, but we talk about this on the level one quite a lot. Sickness is down here. Now let's talk about the extreme end. So sickness down the right end, that is death. Okay, you've got death on one end. You have got superhuman ability, the peak of humanity down the other end. Right down the middle, you've got wellness. Wellness. So you are well, right? Average human. Well, down the middle, free of disease. Okay. Now, when Gregosaurus Rex came up with this, the games wasn't a thing, right? And the fitter you were, so the more healthy you got, the further along that spectrum you moved towards fitness. Now, the whole point in the games originally, what Dave proposed, was to test that fitness at the end. We want to demonstrate and prove that we have the fittest on earth by our standard, which was used in the hopper model. At that point, it could have been argued, because people were eating meats, vegetables, nuts, seeds, some food, nuts, no sugar. They were doing the prescribed CrossFit methodology, and they were getting super fit and healthy. As the last 20 years have gone on, it's become more of a dedicated, professionalized sport. Whether it's actually professionalized is one thing or another, but they become full-time athletes, is what I mean. And the barriers have been moved, just like every other sport. They have been moved at the tip of the spear away from health. They're not healthy at that end of the spectrum, as per CrossFit's prescription. They eat a ton of sugar because of the demand. They are constantly on the verge of breaking. They get injured all the time. So their well-being suffers. So they're not close to health. Now, my question that I'd like to talk to you about and get your opinion on for a post where hopefully I'll make a graph and then people will like again, is, and I'm trying to articulate this well. I talked to a couple of people about this, including Jon. In today's CrossFit environment, not the original prescription of the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum where the athletes were tested at the far end of fitness is because they were peak health, because then we've established it's not peak health anymore. For longevity and health, where is the optimal point on that continuum for longevity and health? So an example, the CrossFitters from yesteryear, and there's always going to be exceptions to the proof of the rule, like Froning, but he doesn't compete anymore. So there is that. They have all broken away and done their own thing. They no longer do what we do at the boxes as we call CrossFit. They don't do the constantly varied function fitness performed at high intensity across broad modal time and space. They don't do all of that. Those yesteryear athletes, they hit that peak and then they've teetered off. If you wanted to get to a certain level of health and well-being and performance and sustain that, i.e. longevity and health, where would you put that marker on this continuum? Now, we know it will be from between wellness and fitness. It will not be into sickness. The other reason we used to use this, by the way, is because we would bank ourselves a buffer against disease and sickness. So if we were further towards fitness and we got ill or we broke a leg or we got a virus or whatever, we would have banked extra health before we went down towards sickness. So the more comorbidities you had, if you were super morbidly obese, if you didn't exercise, if you have a resting heart rate of 80, all these different factors, if you had diabetes, you would be further towards sickness. And if you got ill or poorly, you would have less health to bank on to sustain you towards wellness. So with all of that in mind, right, where would you plot optimal health for longevity and well-being? Where would you pop that on that continuum is my question. And so far, the people that I've asked, it's been a resounding no to the right at the end on fitness. A resounding no. Nobody has said that right at the tip of the spear is the healthy and longevity part. Now, if that turns out to be the case across the board, that people think the same thing, do we need to reestablish that the tip of the spear isn't part of our methodology? Is that a further indication that there's a point where it breaks out of being what we do and goes into sort of untethered, performance-based version of what we do that isn't for health and longevity? I think that might be the case. I think it might be. And by the way, that isn't unique to CrossFit. It's for all sport at the elite level. And that's what I'm having a hard time with this week, is getting my head around that distinction, because I really want it to be like that. And I've always thought, right, my position on the games was, the games is like this tugboat that's pulling the rest of us along. We will never be that. We will never be at the front, but we need that thing pulling us along in terms of what's capable, what's aspirational, and what's available at the tip of the spear. And the thing is, if we don't have that, and we don't see it as respectable, and we don't admire it, then we sort of lose our way a little bit, because we'll start drifting further and further away from it. So we do need it. It's essential. But when I refer back to that continuum, if we acknowledge, I'm not saying we're going to, but if we acknowledge that the optimal health point on that continuum isn't at the end of it, isn't at the tip of the spear, and we do CrossFit for health and longevity, then why do we idolize it so much, the sport? I'm trying to get my head around that this week. I'm going to post about it, and I just wanted to see if anyone had any opinions on it, but we don't have to. I'm gonna have a little bit of a chat with ChatGPT about this. I'm gonna talk to it a little bit. I'm gonna try and find an infographical way, a visual way to demonstrate what I'm trying to talk about here. Because again, all I want to do is just ask and have conversation about all this stuff. It's important to ask questions. As soon as you stop, you become like the idiots at the far ends. So yeah. Vadush. How long till Monza's on? I could look. I'm not gonna. Anyway, got loads of do you know what we're having today? Me and the kids, we are having a lazy day. So they've recently got into Dragon Ball Z. My brother-in-law grew up, he's 8 years younger than me. And he grew up obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. And he's now got a sleeve. His whole arm is a Dragon Ball Z theme tattoo up to his shoulder. And he was over a couple of weeks ago. And my kids have sort of just grown out of Pokemon. And they looked at his arm and they said, "What's that?" They recognized it as sort of cartoon, animation. And he said, "It's Dragon Ball Z." And they asked what that was. So they sat down, they watched the first 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and they are now obsessed. So they've been working really hard this week with their schoolwork and the jiu-jitsu and their exercising. So we've given them a lazy day today. So we go out for a walk later when it stopped raining. But for now, they're just on the sofa watching Dragon Ball Z. So I've got a load of admin to do. So yeah, there we go. I'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully I can get a post out this afternoon about it after I've had a little chat. Like, were they? How old are your kids, Jodie? If they were into it, they're probably, are they late teens? If they were, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, end on a sober note, or a somber note. But as I said, when I was on the platform yesterday, walking out, I thought of my kids, and that gave me a lot of like a feeling of, I don't know, calm, gratitude, whatever it was. And when I was trying to settle one of the lifters yesterday, I said to him, ultimately, right now, this moment, it doesn't matter. I was saying this as a 40-year-old. Wow, 30, 31. Awesome. You do not look anywhere near old enough, Jodie. And I'm honestly saying that to have a 30, 31. I was saying to this lad, it might feel like this is the most important thing ever, but it isn't. Use this as a learning. In 20 years, you won't remember this. You won't even remember this in 5 years. This memory would have been replaced by other really positive and healthy memories of environment. So try to breathe, try to relax, enjoy your moment here, have fun, learn, and move on. And I'm saying that as a 40-year-old to like an 18-year-old, right? This morning at the gym, I got a notification that one of my friends had messaged. She was a member at our old gym. Her husband and her were. I haven't spoken to her in a little while, probably a couple of years, but now and again we'll say, you know, well done or congrats or hi or whatever on a post on Facebook or something. She was a member at our old gym in 2013, 14, 15. And she had a young son, Jacob, at the time, who did CrossFit Kids. Lovely lad. And this morning she put out a message on her Facebook, and her son passed away at the age of 20. And everything that I said yesterday to that 18-year-old made sense again. It made sense again. And when you, some little powerlifting competition in the Isle of Man to test your strength, some workout at the gym that you're stressing yourself out about, a bill that you need to pay that you're worried about, a client that's left your services, a tile falling off your roof, whatever it might be. It's all irrelevant. It might matter at the time. Thanks, CrossFit. Yeah, I'll go that way. There you go. Oh, there's my bottle. Fuck me. I was looking for that. Yeah. Perspective, isn't it? So, yeah. So my thoughts are with the couple this week, and none of the shit that we think matters until we get shown that what truly matters, eh? So yeah, I'm thinking of you. Right, back to what we were talking about. Quality of the coaching at your local box as you evolve and age and fitness journey is the key. Yes. Games athletes and entertainment ranch. Yes. Octavio, fantastic point. They're the entertainment value. Very much so. And we need that. We need the arm of it. We need that arm of what we do. If it wasn't entertaining, it would be so fucking boring. We need it. And for people that want it, it's there. So we need to have that. CrossFit knows. And you have to wear tighty whities. You're not allowed to wear boxers or the tight briefs that come down your legs. You're not allowed to wear them. It's you have to wear Ys or Y fronts. It's going to be that games is like F1. We watch it because the bird was showing. Yeah, exactly. But we know that you. So I'm with you, Vidush. But the thing is, yes, you're absolutely right with this, and that's the tricky bit, right? With F1, we know that we're never going to be there. You know, I'm sorry to break this to you, but you're never going to be an F1 driver, right? But you should also know that you are never going to be a CrossFit Games athlete in the open division. You should also know that. but maybe enjoy it as an entertainment thing. The tricky thing is like you said, we can scale it down, but when is that celebrated? It's not. We don't really celebrate the scaling down side of it, do we? Not as much as that. Not as much as that. But people watch F1. People, if you're into it, I love F1, but I can see why people don't. In essence, it's really boring. Really boring. But you have to have an interest in it. If you put CrossFit on the TV in front of other people, they will be fucking bored by it. F1. If you're a driver and you love a Toyota fucking or a Subaru Impreza, or you love your cars, of course you're gonna like it. You can somewhat identify with it and understand and that scaling up process. But if we're going to get people viewing CrossFit that aren't into CrossFit, that's a really tall order. They're watching something they're completely bored by. So you need to get them in the door first in order to then watch the games, in my opinion. The only people that will watch the games and go, oh, yeah, I want to do that, search CrossFit online, they are the 20-something-year-olds. They are the 20-something-year-olds that have the idea of that I want to do that. No 50-year-old is watching the CrossFit games and going, I can do that. That's just not the case, whether we want to admit it or not. So yeah, F1. In an instant, like yeah. Oh, sorry. There is, although CrossFit that. Do we think that's the driver or the team that they're on? As yield, I think a bit of both, maybe. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But again, F1's always been there, and it hasn't relied on an American market. It's grown into an American market. No CrossFit. Do you know what? That I said this to Beaver a little while ago. Was that in the UK, it's boy racers that have Subarus. Lesbians go nowhere near Subarus. It's just not a thing. I think that's just America. Like Subarus over here, we only really have the Impreza and the what's the one all the farmers drive, the long wheelbase one. I can't remember what it was. We have an American team. Do you? I know Audi have got a team coming in. What's the American team? I don't know. That's the one. Yeah, those two. But they're not they're not a lesbian thing. Cadillac. Cadillac are getting into F1. I haven't heard that. That'll be a while before it. They've only just let Audi in. Well, Audi aren't even in yet. Cadillac F1. Is that a real thing? Is that actually happening? It won't be for a few years yet, will it? I know Audi are coming in, I think next year. Really? Bloody hell. So is that coming in next year then with Audi at the same time? I had no idea. See? I'm obviously not into F1 as much as you lot. But I like watching it. I pay fucking money for it, so I should watch it. Oh, cool. So we're extending the grid to have two extra teams rather than getting rid of two. That'd be interesting. Oh, God. What's Monaco going to be like? There's a question. Should we get rid of Monaco? It's the least enjoyable track. I do not understand why. I know why. It's the heritage and yeah. Never mind. Right. So I need to chat GBT. Yields. So CrossFit, are you signing up for a powerlifting meet now that you've watched me? Oh. Yeah. Zandvoort. Yeah. So hang on. So are you saying we're gonna have 4 extra drivers next year? Have we got rid of any of the teams? Because I'm supposed to be going to Silverstone next year. My dad used to work for Lamborghini. Is the thing I don't know if you knew. And if the other, yeah. So my dad worked for Lamborghini for about nearly 30 years, for about 28 years in the bodywork section, panel beater and sprayer. Worked for Volkswagen initially, then Audi, and then Lamborghini, and then both, obviously. Right, okay. Do you think Cadillac are going to get good? I've never had a Subaru. I've always wanted one though. There's 2 cars that growing up I really wanted. There was the Subaru Impreza, the rounded one from the mid-90s. Can't believe I'm talking about this. Hang on. Subaru. There we go. Oh, it's a thing of fucking beauty. Where's the one I want? Oh, the black. Yeah. So I've got a thing about black and gold in cars. Black and gold. So Kevin, I do the blue. The obvious choice would be the blue and gold. But there was a lad, not a lad, probably a fucking 40-year-old at the time. There was a guy down my road that had this one. So a black and gold one, and I absolutely fucking loved it. But yeah, if someone said, "Here you go, here's a blue and gold one," I wouldn't have it now. Right now. This, my friends, this was the car that I was absolutely obsessed with. When I was 10 to the age of now, I want one of these. I really absolutely loved the Clio Williams. I'm telling you, mate, that the early 90s was peak for hatchbacks. But just you had the Renault that was stock, yeah. The Renault 5 GTR 2. You've got the Impreza came out. You had the Peugeot GTI, the 205 GTI, the Escort, the fucking Cosworth series. There's so many cars. The Civic, yeah, there were so many hatchbacks from that time that were just, yeah, the Focus R. There's so many that are just, you look at it and you go, yes, I want one of them. The VR6 was nice as well, yeah. See what I mean? See what I mean? Those what we would call boy racer cars in the UK. I've never had one. I'll tell you what, I had a Vauxhall Nova. I'll show you what I had, my first car. And I bought this. I bought this off a guy at my dad's work for £25. So $40. So my one was, believe it or not, was this color, right? Horrible fucking copper color. but it was the SRI and it had the SRI wheel. So it was one of these ones. Is that the STR? But yeah, like that. I had one of these. Oh man, that's the best car. Hang on a minute. That's the GT. Mine was that color. That was the best car I've ever had. It was like a sofa on wheels. And I did manage, at one point, I did manage to get it over 100 miles an hour. Allegedly, my lawyer has told me to say, on a track. But yeah. Mate, on that car, I had a manual choke. So when you had to start, you had a little, like a manual choke underneath the steering wheel. And you have to put out the choke ever so slightly, clutch in a little bit, manual, obviously, turning the key, making sure you got it right. Fun times. Yeah, and I had the windows, manual windows, but I would absolutely love that car now. Just to potter around in. Probably about 50 brake horsepower. Just sofa on fucking wheels. Maybe my goal for my, like, for the next year should be to get myself a Vauxhall Nova. But yeah, some of those cars are worth a fucking fortune. Have you seen the Sierra Cosworth, the price of them? Hang on. This is going to mean nothing to Americans, but that's fine. Savon didn't want me to be we didn't want this to be an American show. Right. So the Sierra Cosworth, these things are worth an absolute mint, right? These, I think, I'm pretty sure one went for about £800,000, which is about $1 million. There's not. Look at these. Look at this spoiler. What they called a whale. Oh, hang on. This was a little while ago. £600,000. This one went for £600,000. Dollars is about 1.35. So you're looking at about well over $800,000 for one of these. That is fucking mental. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, they are. EBS, yeah, fucking hell. That's the times. Before the internet, you had these magazines, the car magazines, and all the parts things was at the back, and you'd ring a fucking random number. I went and drove. I drove about 45 minutes to a scrapyard, and because I rang around the scrapyards, I really wanted a low bumper on the back of my Nova. So I drove 45 minutes. I found the scrapyard that had the lower bumper of the SRI bumper, and I drove there. I had to remove it from the car in the scrapyard, take it home, and I put it back on my front lawn, which was fun. My dad liked that. But it's funny, isn't it? All this shit that you do, you forget about. But yeah. Anyway, enough nostalgia for now. This isn't the car show. Right. Sunday, what time is it? It's coming up to 1 o'clock here. So thanks for joining me, everyone. It's been lovely talking to you all, getting Throwback Thursdays. Tuesday, I might have a guest Tuesday. So I'm trying to get that person nailed in. We've got a really good head-to-head coming up on Thursday on Glinton. We've got Chase on Thursday just before that, so 6 p.m. our time. It's a bit earlier than the usual head-to-head. And we'll go straight through with head-to-head, but we'll have some more guests lined up. Not even 8 a.m. here. Wow. We've learned a lot to do, Jodie, haven't we? Right. I'm going to go and watch a bit of Dragon Ball Z that I've never seen. And then I'll chat GBT. And so thanks for your input, by the way, on the health and sports side of things. Go and train if you haven't already. Go to church if you do that kind of thing. Go to mosque if you do that kind of thing. Yeah, I know. Adam, I'll try my best. The thing is, because it's 9:30, I think it's 9:30 or 10:30 our time in the morning, and I'm usually coaching between those hours. But if I get a morning where I'm not, I'll definitely swing by. Thank you for coming on anyway. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy. I'll be in the chat later on Kill Taylor, maybe chatting absolute nonsense because that's my role. And yeah, have a lovely day, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and I'll speak to you soon. Enjoy Monza. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now. I'm not pressed the right button. Okay, bye now. Now's the right